trouble was, rising from the sitting position was no longer an easy option, and although she hated having to accept the hand that Kaelin had immediately offered, she nevertheless grabbed it and let him pull her up. She muttered under her breath a grumpy thank you, just as he asked solicitously, "Where are you going, my love?" Serenity brushed at her hair irritably. Since being pregnant, it had grown impossibly thicker and curlier, much to the clan's delight and her annoyance. It refused to stay tied back, no matter how hard she tried to secure it, until she finally gave up and let it fall in corkscrew curls down to her lower back. "Nowhere, Kaelin," she finally answered. "Just wanted to stretch my legs." She walked to the window, absently stretching and rubbing at her back. The snow was steadily falling, like large, feathery cotton balls coating the ground, so it looked like fluffy clouds had fallen from the sky to cover the acres of outside in its still iciness. The first snow was always magical, and she watched with enchanted eyes. A feeling of wetness between her legs distracted her attention. Drawing her gaze away from the window, she looked down at the pool of pinkish water between her feet, tutting absently at how hard it was going to be to remove the stain from the cream carpet. Worrying her lip, she looked towards Kaelin, who was once again playing with the fire. Kaelin?" She cleared her throat when she realized her voice was barely above a whisper. "Kaelin!" she called stridently. Kaelin looked up sharply, his unusual red-gold eyes taking in her alarmed expression and the water between her feet with one encompassing sweep. He rose from his seat in a jerky motion, far removed from his usual graceful movements. He pointed with a hand that trembled slightly, making her brows raise in surprise. "Is that—" He swallowed convulsively. "Is that what I think it is?" They were all versed in every aspect of the pregnancy. A whole section of Paxton's extensive library had been dedicated to pregnancy books, scoured from around the world, in various languages she had no hope of understanding. She had let them read, preferring to use the ever-knowledgeable Rosie to answer her questions and fears. Serenity nodded. "Yes, Kaelin. My waters have broken." Kaelin stumbled forward, knocking the coffee table into the sofa, which slid backwards at the force of his eagerness to get to her. She covered her mouth, hiding the smile at the incongruous sight of a dragon man being unsteady on his feet. In her head, the dragons had started to croon expectantly, their presence in her mind even stronger since conception. She knew her son would be born with knowledge of the dragons from their daily touches. If her child was particularly restless, their touches always calmed him. Knowing that Innamораtas only ever gave birth to male dragon men helped her to bond with the life that grew within her, and they had all agreed to call him Adam, after her father. Finally, Kaelin reached her side and breathlessly touched her large stomach. Are you... Is there any pain yet?" She shook her head, looking over Kaelin's shoulder, knowing that any minute the rest of her clan would be arriving, Kaelin having immediately shared the occurrence through their wide-open hive mind. "No, not yet. Just niggling pain in my lower back." He took her hand and began to pull her forward, making her jump over the puddle in his fervor. "Right. We have to get you to the suite." He stopped so suddenly she almost bumped into his back. "No, I need to contact the doctor. He's here, isn't he? We asked him to move in, didn't we?" He started to tug her forward again. "No, getting you to the suite is more important. Where are my brothers?" he queried, in a voice laced with panic. Serenity couldn't help a giggle escaping, which made him turn around, his expression one of incredulity. "What? Why are you laughing?" "This is no laughing matter. You're about to give birth." Serenity raised her hand, then burst into laughter, making her hold her stomach, which tightened uncontrollably and caused another gush of